Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Monica from the Glenwood branch of the Howard County Library System. I'm here with Miss Becky, who's behind the scenes helping with this class. This is STEAM Saturday. So this is a pre-recorded class, so you can pause it or stop it at any point. This is a class every other Saturday where we learn about science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Oh, I forgot, and art too. So all fun things. So we use very common everyday items to make fun things and learn about those topics. You should be able to find everything we're going to use today at home. You can improvise too, like you don't have to use the exact same things that I'm using, but we're going to talk a little bit about snow people, snowmen and snow women. You can even do snow dogs and snow cats. And because it's January and it's really cold out, so we're going to also play around with some color theory as well. So you can see that I have some plastic bottles here. These are all different ones. Whatever plastic bottles that are in your recycling bin right now, just grab. They can be different sizes, and I would try to get the clear ones if you have them, just so your experiment will turn out a little bit better. But we're going to start with just a plain bottle of water. I just filled this up with regular tap water, like so. And you're going to need some Sharpie markers. I happen to have some different colors. If you only have one color, like I said, it's fine. I have scissors and I have just some yarn that I had laying around at my house and some ribbon. So what you're going to do is just draw a snowman face. So I'm going to pretend like I used coal. I'm going to do two eyes and I'm going to do the mouth with pretend little coal here, like so. Okay. And then I'm going to pretend that my snow person has a carrot little nose. I'm just going to use orange. I happen to have an orange Sharpie. This smile's a little crooked on here, but that's okay. Just notice that. Like so. Okay. Now, if it's snowing where you are today, you could fill these up with snow. You could try to do that. That might be fun. It might be a little hard to get through the top, but water, snow, like so. I think I'm going to make this a snow woman. I'm going to put a little bow, draw a little bow, just circle and some triangles. See, like so. And then I'm just going to take a little piece of my ribbon. So maybe cut it, and that's going to be my snow woman's scarf. So let's see. It's a good way to practice making a knot or making a bow. Some of you might be learning how to tie your shoes. Kind of fun. I'm just going to cut it long enough for a bow, but do a little knot. Because your snow people have to have a scarf so they stay warm, right? I'm going to put it closer so you can see. Hopefully you can see. It's kind of hard just because it's clear, but you can see that it's got carrot nose, got a little bow, and little eyes and mouth. So here's some different ones that I've made, okay? And what I'm going to do with this, like I said, this is just plain water in there, and these are not new bottles of water. These are bottles from my recycling bin filled with tap water from the sink. Okay. And if you have a lot of bottles in your recycling, maybe it's the night before recycling, then make a whole bunch of these. You have a whole snow family. So uncap them. And we're gonna, this is the other thing that I have is I just have food coloring in the primary colors, okay? Like so. It's got red, yellow, green, and blue primary colors. Okay? So actually the red, the yellow, and the blue are the primary colors. Sorry, I got that wrong. And the secondary colors we can make are orange, green, and violet. I always have to look at that just to make sure that I get it right. It's okay. See, even grown-ups have to look to remember things. Okay, so this is just food coloring from my cupboard. And we're gonna start with the red. And you don't need a lot of food coloring, just a couple drops will do. So you can see we've got the clear water in here. I'm just gonna put a couple drops in this. It's kind of neat. Just a couple. I don't want to use the whole bottle. And it's really cool to watch the food coloring incorporate into the water. You see it kind of floating down. And you do want to make sure that your cap is on here really good. I would also recommend wearing old clothes or covering the surface that you're working on just in case your food coloring does splash or you don't have your top on all the way, just in case something spills. So look at that. We got our red snow woman. And then let's see, what is she going to be? Let's see, I think I'm gonna do yellow. I'm gonna change our water into yellow here. Like so, that's kind of cool. You probably really don't need a lot of yellow here. I'm so worried I'm not gonna cap one of these and shake it. Water's gonna go all over the place. Guess who would get to clean that up? I would. Hopefully you clean up to your messes. Shake it, and you can see the yellow. See the food coloring moving? You shake it up, that's really cool. Okay, and let's see. I think I'm gonna do some blue in this last one. Over here, or the next last one. Oh, where'd my blue go? Like so. I'm just really careful when I take the tops of these off. And if I only do a little bit of blue, it'll be, can you guess, light blue. If I do a lot, it'll be darker blue. Different shades of different colors, depending on how much of the food coloring you put in. That's actually really cool to watch that go down. So if you're at home, take a little more time and watch the food coloring incorporate itself into the water. It's actually, the blue is, I'm gonna say kudos to the blue because that is really, really cool. Can you see that? That's neat. Okay, but just because of time, I'm gonna go ahead and shake this up. But if you're at home, take some time and watch this. That's so neat. It's a blue snow person. And let's see, on this last one, I think I'm gonna take the red, I'm gonna take the yellow and I'm gonna turn it into orange, like the carrot. So can anybody guess what color food coloring I should put with the yellow food coloring to make orange? Did anybody say red? You are right. Good job. Okay, so let's see if this makes orange. I bet some of you have some really cool art teachers who are teaching you all about colors at school. Let's see. Orange, can you see it? Looks a little bit close to the red. I think just because I don't have a lot of the red food coloring in here, if I put more red food coloring in, we can try that, it would be a darker red. It's a little hard to see. It is very, very close just because we're working with water. But let's put a little bit more and then you can see the difference. You could also put more yellow in the orange and then it would be probably brighter. Play with it. That's what STEAM is all about, is exploring and playing with it and experimenting. So as you're doing this from home, you know, add more food coloring, put different colors together. The more bottles you have, the more different colors you could do. So you can see it now. See how that's more red? This is more orange. It's kind of cool. So let's also make, we could do green. We do have green food coloring, but just in case you didn't, you could do, you've got blue, and then if you add, what color would make green? Do you know? Did anybody say yellow? Good job. I'm gonna put a little bit more yellow in here this time. There it goes. You can see it mixing. What's with this blue? It's so cool to see everything mix in this one bottle. Maybe it's the shape of the bottle. I don't know. Try it out at home with different bottles. That is a great color, green. Oh my goodness, look at that. I'm kind of excited about that. That's really cool. So awesome. Great color, green. Okay, so I have one last little snow person. What color do I want to make this? I think I want to make this one purple. Does anybody know how to make purple? I'll give you a hint because I just grabbed the food coloring. So you would need red and blue to make purple. So let's try this. I'm only gonna do like 2 or 3 drops. Let's do 3, just see how it works. I can always add more, a little harder to take away, right? I'm gonna do 2 of the blue. Blue is the brighter, stronger color. Just remember that. More pigment, I believe in it. Okay, again, the blue just drops down, so neat. Okay, so here we go. Look at these. You'll be able to see this so much better at home. It's really cool. Watch the colors incorporate with the water. Let's mix this up. Ooh, this is a pretty color purple. It's kind of like a violet. It's like a light purple. You see it? It's a little darker just because of the lighting, but that is purple. So that is some color theory for you with cool little snowmen and snow women, snow people. That's a lot of fun to experiment with colors and water and make little snow people too. So it was so fun. That'd be a really good project for a snowy day. So speaking of snow, I do have a couple books to recommend to you. There's more, there should be a list for your grownups to see as well online when you signed up for this class, but these are just a couple of my favorites. This one is The Cool Story Behind Snow, and this is by a meteorologist by the name of Joe Rao, and meteorologists study the weather. So they predict the weather too. So discover how snow is made and why we have snowstorms and blizzards in this fun book. And this book has so much information about weather that you'll feel like a meteorologist yourself after reading it. So that is The Cool Story Behind Snow, of course, available at the Howard County Library System. The next book I was completely fascinated with as a grown-up, so I can imagine how fascinated you're going to be when you check this book out. It is called The Story of Snow, The Science of Winter's Wonder. And this is by Mark Cassino and John Nelso. And did you know that no two snowflakes are alike? They're all different. So you'll learn in this book about snow crystals, which is the same as snowflakes. In this book, this book is packed with information. So is the other one. And what I really, really loved about this book, let me show you, is the pictures of snowflakes. And these are real pictures taken with a microscope of snowflakes. Can you see that? You can see some of the detail, but in person, this book, the photography in here is just incredible of the different snow crystals. So I highly recommend The Story of Snow. It's a really cool book. But if you're fascinated with snowflakes and the photography of snowflakes and snow crystals, I also recommend a book that I just didn't have on the shelf at the library yesterday, but I do want to mention it to you because it's one of my all-time favorite books. It's called Snowflake Bentley by Jacqueline Briggs Martin. And it's a story of Wilson Bentley, who is famous for first taking photos of snowflakes. Even as a young boy, he lived on a farm and he took photos, like he made himself his own microscope and camera when he was a boy. And then as he grew up in his barn in Vermont, and he's credited for being one of the first people to actually study snowflakes and take pictures of them. So Snowflake Bentley, I highly recommend, along with these other 2 titles. So many fun books out there about snow and about snow people, and just such a great, all of them are such a great read for this time of year. So I hope you all get some snow soon, and you too can make a snow person live. I mean, not live, but out of snow. But maybe they'll come alive. I don't know. But thank you so much for joining us today. It was so much fun creating with you and exploring STEAM. Ask your grown up to sign up again. We'll have another class in 2 weeks. Just have your grown up go to hclibrary.org to sign up for our next class, as well as if you would like to place a hold on any of these titles. So thank you again. Have a great day. Have fun with color and snow. Bye-bye.